What's up, guys? Another BiS video for you. I bet you were expecting Frost CK. Pulled a fast one on you. Today we're doing Prot Paladin, free raid and phase 1 BiS for Classic Wrath. Now, no need to delay. I've done the intro a million times. Let's jump right into the talents for you. Now, the talents are definitely worth looking at because I run with talents that are different than a lot of Frost CKs and a lot of guides that you'll see online, and I'll explain why. Now, for the Prot tree, nothing looks any out of the ordinary. Nothing is weird here at all, in the slightest. It's the Ret tree where things get weird. And truthfully, I throw 2 points here in Improved Blessing on might, just to say, like, hey, if no one's taking this, take it. Otherwise, you just throw these 2 points into Conviction, good to go, no problem at all. Really, what we're looking at here is Seal of Command. Now, Seal of Command in Wrath is very, very strong, and if you ever see any Prot Paladin guide or Prot Paladin Theory Crafter or whatever telling you not to take this one talent point to Seal of Command, they're cooked out of their goddamn minds, and you need to turn off the channel and go look at something else because it's so strong. It really is. Like, if you were not running Seal of Command in a regular build, at least all the way through Ulduar, potentially in Tier 9 on ICC, you're just doing it wrong. Seal of Command is extremely strong in Wrath, does a ton of cleave damage, and not taking the 1 point for it, especially in Phase 1, where you know all of your time is going to be spent doing heroic dungeons and running the hell out of Naxxramas, which has a ton of trash, a ton of cleave. Seal of Command is going to be your number 2 overall damaging ability in like all of Nax, maybe number 3. It's extremely high damage. Not taking Seal of Command is just absolutely griefing, and it's probably the number 1 sign of a complete noob. You have to take Seal of Command as a Prot Paladin. It's extremely good. You'll only consider dropping it in Tier 9. That's another conversation for another day, but I'm sick and tired of seeing Prot Paladins not take Seal of Command. It's so stupid, and you'll see why. Pursuit of Justice, you gotta go Pursuit of Justice. This is nothing weird out of the ordinary, but we do like that base movement speed. Super good to have. And of course, Crusade is going to be amazing in Wrath because there's so many undead things. Now, Glyphs real quick. Glyph of Divine Plea, totally normal Glyph here. Glyph of Righteous Defense, completely normal Glyph. Everyone wants to run this. I will say that if you have a good amount of hit rating, especially at Nax because it's so easy, and the fact that you have 2 taunts as a Prot Paladin, typically if one misses, you can just hit the other back. If you have to taunt something, you could sub this out for something like, say, Glyph of Hammer of the Righteous, if you wanted to pump out just a little more damage. Of course, you could also get Glyph of Seal of Vengeance. Phenomenal Glyph, because when you're not running Seal of Command, you're running Seal of Vengeance for your single target. And the single target damage that you get from this with the 10 expertise is incredible. Also helps with your survivability if we have parry haste in the game. We'll see about that. And of course, I like to run Glyph of Holy Wrath. Now, I really only run this in Phase 1 for Naxxramas, so if you just want to sub this out, if you're running, you know, a heroic dungeon that definitely doesn't have any undead mobs, or if you aren't in Naxxramas, like, go for it. If you want to sub it out, be my guest. However, I like to have this as a staple in Phase 1. It is just extremely high damaging and super useful to have a 15-second reduced cooldown on my Holy Wrath. So those are the talents that I like to run with for Prot Paladin, especially in Phase 1. All of this, of course, subject to change in later phases. Now, for our Phase 1 pre-raid gear, now keep in mind, again, with all tank BiS, this isn't really set in stone. You know, we don't know how long we're going to have in Phase 0 to collect all of this pre-raid BiS before Nax comes out. So if you're not able to obtain all of this, that's totally fine. I'm going to throw in some extra options for you. Now, of course, our first item is the Tempered Titan Steel Helm, Blacksmithing Helm with a boatload of stamina on it, like a ridiculous amount. You have to get this. It's incredible. It's irreplaceable. It's super good. Also, don't look too much into these stat weights here. These are old EP values from TBC. Then for neck, I love this neck. This is the Emblem of Heroism neck. 25 Emblem of Heroism. You'll get this in no time. It has hit rating, has defense, has dodge. This is just phenomenal neck, and there's nothing better. It's super good. For shoulders, I love the Sunwell shoulders. You guys thought you wouldn't be using Sunwell gear. It's really good. The reason I like it, of course, is because it has 2 gem slots, but also because those gem slots like work and play really well with gemming for defense if we need it. So these are a great choice if you need to get a little more defense on your gear. I will say, oh, real quick, this did not save. We can go here, here, throw Enduring here, and then throw Enduring here. Boom. Boom, boom. Enduring here. We go Stamina here. Boop, 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 boop. Boom. This is actually the set that I like to run, at least something similar to it. Just, you know, juicing out just a little more stamina. The reason I was doing what I just did is because with Prot Paladin has an issue of actually hitting defense cap pretty early on. Other DK or other tanks like a DK, for example, has a sigil where they get to, you know, pump out, I think it's an extra 54 defense rating just on command, which they'll have the buff time up for 100% of the time. And Feral Druids don't have to worry about defense cap at all. Prot Paladins actually can have a hard time hitting that 540 defense cap. So if you're struggling to hit 540 defense cap, there's zero shame in gymming for some yellow thick autumn glows and getting defense that way through gymming. There's no shame in it whatsoever. Do it if you have to, absolutely. But just keep in mind that we can go a little under the defense cap because we do get 15 resilience from our shoulder enchant. I believe we can juice out a 537 defense rating as long as we have the resilience on our shoulders. So just keep that in mind. Now for cloaks, I do really like this cloak. This is coming from Nexus Heroic. Also, another cloak that is super similar to it is the Wyrmrest Accord Honored Cloak. These cloaks are basically identical in stats, only swapping just a couple things here and there, stamina for defense rating. So either one of these cloaks is going to do you well. So pick one and go with it. Of course, our best chest is going to be the Heroes tier 200 eye level chest, which we get from Heroism. No problem at all. Easy choice there. Now for wrists, this is not correct. This is the wrist for period BiS, Bracers of the Herald. I will give an honorable mention to the tier wrists actually being super good. If you wanted to go with these, you absolutely could. They have a substantial less amount of stamina, but the socket bonus is there the socket is there if you want to throw in a stamina gem there, or even a defense gem if you needed to get out a little more defense. This is one way you could do it. So great wrists there. Of course, our best in slot one hand is the Red Sword of Courage. There's nothing that comes even close. This is by far your best pre-raid sword. And then our shield, of course, this one is coming from calling a Stratholm Heroic. Now, I will say the Emblem of Heroism one for 35 right here is actually really, really good too. Both of these shields are phenomenal, but I do have to give the edge to the Royal Crest of Lordaeron. Just ignore the fact that this one has EP value that's higher. I do like this one better. Now, we do have the tier gloves, the 200 eye level tier gloves. These are awesome. I love these very much, especially for that 30 hit is super, super good because we do need that hit. We're running kind of low on hit on Prot Paladins at this point in the game. So when you see hit, take it. Now, this belt is kind of like in a league of its own. This belt is incredible. The only other belt that comes close is this one off of a Julnerub Heroic, but this one is just it's just way better in every way. I will give a slight honorable mention again to the old tier 6 belt. Fantastic belt here. Fantastic. You can definitely use that for a long time, for sure. Your best legs are not even close. They're by far the bolstered leg plates. This is coming from Heroic Violet Hold. And a whopping 45 hit rating is great on top of the fact that it gives you a massive amount of defense rating, which helps you hit that cap. Of course, the boots that I like to go for are the Wyrmrest Accord Revered boots, which gives us hit and defense. You're throwing Nitro boots on this and you're good to go. I will give honorable mention, of course, to the Blacksmith and Crafted ones, as these are super good, have a ton of stamina on them, but I prefer to have the hit. Again, I like to run a Woeful Band here. I think you saw me earlier running the Keystone Great Ring. The reason I don't love the Keystone Great Ring, it doesn't have any defense rating on it. Sure, it's probably a better ring overall, but like I said before, like Prot Paladin could use a little bit extra defense here and there, so Woeful Band is a great choice to have here. Then the Titanium Earthguard ring. This is our JC ring. This ring is phenomenal. It's fan-fucking-tastic, and it's our best in slot for this phase. So definitely get this crafted, run with jewel crafting, and you will love this ring. It's awesome. It's kitted. Essence of Gossamer. You need to be running Heroic Julnerub every single day until you get Essence of Gossamer, period. Every tank does. You have to get this. It's non-negotiable. It's incredible. Until you get Essence of Gossamer, what you can do is you can run double Figurine. If you're a jewel crafter, you can get Figurine of Monarch Crab and Figurine of Ruby Hair. These two trinkets are super good. I will, of course, say now is the time to be thinking about block sets for TOGC. You will be needing a block set. So while you're running your heroics, pick up a Levanther's Talisman if you see it drop in Violet Hold, which it's pretty rare to get because it only drops off the one boss in Violet Hold. But if you see this, get it, hang on to it, throw it in your bank, or use it for a block set. It's a really good trinket you have to have. And of course, our Librum that we want to run with is the Emblem of Heroism Librum that gives us shield block value. There's not a lot of other good Librums in the game to pick from, so we go with this one for sure. Now, moving forward into Prot Phase 1 full BiS. Now, two things to keep in mind. One, like I said before, tank BiS lists are weird. Just, you have to be able to be flexible with your gear and optimize accordingly based on what loot you see him drop and what you deem to be important given the fight that you are approaching. This is the BiS list that I like to run in a perfect vacuum scenario. However, yours might look very different than mine, and that's completely fine. And I will say with a huge caveat that this BiS list is intended for running into Ulduar with. This is a really good set for Ulduar tanks, a main tank going into Ulduar. I know for a fact Prot Paladin can juice out a ridiculous amount of damage early on in Phase 1 if you gear super aggressively. And there's a lot of ways that you could go super aggressive. And one thing that comes to mind is running like a Strength Darkmoon card Greatness. But I would feel dirty if I put that on my BiS list for Phase 1. So I'm not going to do that, but I will say, yes, you absolutely can. And we can talk about all that stuff later in a different video. But for now, let's get back to it. This is our BiS list. So right at the jump, you can see that we're running with 4-piece T7. Now, the 4-piece T7 bonus is okay. It increases the duration of our Divine Protection by 3 seconds, which is good, but it's kind of irrelevant. It's actually trash. I mean, we'll take it if we, you know, it'll be good if we are running this set on Algalon, but you don't need it at all. So I wouldn't put too much thought or value in the 4-piece set bonus, as it's really not very good. Just go with whatever's the best option at the time. And for me, I like to run with these items. So we go here with the Tier Helm. For neck, we go with Boundless Ambition. This is the 226 neck off of KT and Nax 25. However, I will say there are a couple other good options as well. Of course, the hit neck that drops in Naxxramas all of the time, Heritage, is very good. And of course, the EOE 25 quest neck is very good, although extremely contested. This is technically your BiS neck. Technically, this would be your BiS. But I cannot in good conscience recommend this neck, knowing that Boundless Ambition exists. Boundless Ambition is amazing. This neck, the quest item for this neck is far too contested and far too valuable on your DPS players. So do not take this as a tank, unless you were buying it in a GDKP. Do not. Now for cloaks, there's actually a couple good cloaks. I like to run with Platinum Mesh Cloak as we are kind of just lacking hit, like I've said before, so I think this is a really good way to pick up some hit without sacrificing too much. Shadow of the Ghoul is really good. You're going to want this anyway for a block set later on. Cloak of the Shadowed Sun is probably your BiS if we're talking like pure BiS. So hang on to one of these in case you get some hit pieces in Ulduar. You can swap this in place of Platinum Mesh Cloak. Totally fine. Up to you. I'll let you make the decision there, but Platinum Mesh Cloak is a great choice. Chest, there's a couple good chests, but I like to run with tier chest at the end of the day. Not a whole lot to see here. I just think tier chest is really good. Bracers, again, there's a couple good bracers. Bracers of the Unholy Knight is probably your absolute BiS, although I think the Bracers of Dalaran Parapets is really good. This comes from Valor, and it is BOE, so you can buy it if you want, although you'll get enough Valor eventually to just purchase it yourself. I like it because of the hit, of course. Another good bracer, of course, is the one from Mayexna. Has block value, super solid. Just not a whole lot going on here because there's no gem slot and there's no hit. So I prefer these two before it. Of course, the Last Laugh is your best in slot weapon. Nothing comes close, as is 226 eye level from KT and has hit on it. And of course, same thing with the shield, again coming off of KT and Nax. And of course, we're going with the gloves here from Tier. We love these because it has hit on it. And the belts, and this is just going to be best in slot anyway. The hit on it is great. You'll run this for a really long time. This is a super good belt. Try to get your hands on it quick. This is going to be our off piece from the set bonus, as it gives us a stupidly large amount of expertise and a bunch of stats coming from EOE 25. So this is definitely your best in slot. Super good legs here. Plus 226 eye level. Just going to be super good. Now for boots, there are multiple boots options. You can go with interexable sabatons if you want. You're going to want these anyway because of block value. These are BOEs, so if you see them drop, they probably will sell for a lot on the auction house. But you could run with them as your BiS if you want. Another option, of course, is sabatons of endurance, which I choose in this BiS list setup. I like it because of the expertise. Up to you if you want to make that decision. Then, of course, with only 40 Emblem of Valor, you could also just go with the Kaizok's Ground Stompers. These are awesome. There's just no expertise. It's just a, avoidance stats. So nothing too sexy here about Kaizok's, but, I'll let you make your choice here. Now, of course, our BiS rings are these two rings, like we said about the JC ring, we already know. But just to hit this home, Signet of the Impregnable Fortress is extremely good. And if you can manage to save up 25 Emblems of Valor, use this as your pre-raid BiS ring, because it's so good. 56 defense rating covers all the missing defense rating that we have as a prop paladin. Our drought of defense is because we don't have Signet yet. Signet is stupidly strong. One of the best rings in the game, just in terms of by phase. This ring is ridiculous. You have to get this and hang on to it. You'll use it for a long time in Old War, eventually replace it, but this is just a phenomenal ring that you definitely want to get your hands on pretty quickly. Of course, nothing changes here with our trinkets, except I just changed out a gem. And then the Libram that we want to run with is actually the Consecration Libram. You don't need the block value from the other Libram. You can get it and hang on to it, of course, which you'll want to do, but the Consecration Libram is just too good for a threat and for damage. So we love to run this. It drops. Also, you can just get it with emblems, so you'll get this in no time and hang on to it. That's it. I'll leave the link for these BiS lists in the description down below. If you have any questions about these BiS lists, please let me know. If you have any questions about Prot Paladin, you can join my Discord. I'm happy to try to answer as many as I can. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I've got more videos coming. I know I debated y'all. Y'all were thinking I was going to do Frost DK. I will be doing Frost DK soon. But I also have Shaman stuff coming up that I want to do as well. And a couple other classes too. So thanks so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next ones, guys. Peace.